What's going on, everybody? Cigar Show Tim here of Tobacco Talk Media with the newest desktop humidor from TISFA, or the Xife family. Let's go through it. Let's look and see what this little tray is all about, the features of it, and all of it. So let's jump into it. What's going on, everybody? Cigar Show Tim here, and I have got the newest desktop humidor from TISFA, the Xife family of cigar accessories. If you've been following my channel, you have seen me cover a plethora of humidors, desktop ones, cabinet style ones, thermoelectric, all sorts of different humidors. This one comes from TISFA. Let's go through the features of it and walk you through it and let you know the information so that you can decide whether or not you want this desktop humidor. Okay, starting off, let's just show you what it looks like. Right here, you can see there is, let me hold it here. Pull it back, you can see it says Cigar Humidor right there. It does have a digital hygrometer on it. It says 48% because there's no humidification in it whatsoever. And then it does show you the temperature. It shows 74.1 degrees currently in here. And then the branding right there that says TISFA on it, so you can see. So let's open it up and see what it comes with. I already unwrapped what is inside, and so I'll show you what it looks like. So when you open it up right here, you can see that there is the portion right here where my finger is, let me come over this way, right there, that holds the beads that come with it. It does come with the included little gel beads that you add distilled water to, and then they swell up, and it maintains humidity that way. So they provide that. But a really cool thing about this that I enjoy, and let's see if I can do it and hold it up at the same time, is this actually will slide so that you can close up the vents for humidity to be restricted, and then slide it down and open, and you have full opening for your humidification process in there. They include the little wooden divider here as well, so you can put this up against the side and go that route. The capacity on this, based on other humidors like this size that I've reviewed, that I've owned personally, all those different things, is it's going to hold probably about 20 to 25 cigars, depending on whether you've got Gordos or Toros or Robustos or whatever they are. Churchills, you're going to have to lay down so they go sideways on here. Let me go this way, get the glare off of it. So get there, right there, lay them across sideways, and then I'm going to hold this closer here so you can see that there, right here, you can see measurements, and so those are centimeters. So you'll be able to, if you want to measure in centimeters, there actually are some cigars that come out that are measured in centimeters. I know Tatuaje, Pete Johnson put some out that are 110 millimeters actually instead of centimeters. But that way you can use that if you choose to see how long, when you want to compare centimeters to inches a cigar is, and go that route. So the hygrometer, like I showed you, it is digital. And when you look at it here, you can see that it's got this little sticker on here. Now that's just a protective film, so I'm going to pull it off. And you can leave it on if you like the design, but I like the brass finish look on here. And so it just peels right off. And then you can see you've got a nice polished brass finish right there on it. Very nice looking. You've got that. What I'm going to do, though, is, for anybody that knows me, I use Integra Boost. That is what I use for all of my humidification. You can see this is a 72% pouch that you can use for seasoning, or you can use it if you're in a really dry climate, really dry, arid climate. You can use this in your humidors. And Integra Boost is pretty much all that I use in my travel humidors, in my desktops, in all of that. It works the best. I enjoy it. Simple enough. If you haven't heard of Integra Boost, go and check them out. So I'm going to drop this 72% pouch inside here. And then I'm going to let this sit here for a little while and see how the hygrometer does, how it responds to it. But what I'm going to do is I'll come back. Actually, let me show you this tray first. So this part here is an accessory tray. Let me just pull it out. And it is sealed off from the rest of the humidor. So if you look up and in there, you can see that it is its own compartment, its own cubby. It is not connected to the humidor at all, so it's separated out. That way humidity doesn't leak out through it, and it's not just an open cavity. But you've got this nice accessory tray for cutters, for lighters, for whatever it is that you may need to put in there. And it's convenient because a lot of desktop humidors, when you get them, don't have a place for you to put your cutter and lighter in. Yes, that does reduce the capacity in this desktop humidor by a few cigars, but to be able to have everything in one spot, open up the tray, slide it open, and grab your cutter, grab your lighter, and have it all there. If you use a humidimeter, anything like that, then you can put it all right in here and slide it inside. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to load this up with cigars and come back and let you know how many it's holding, all that kind of stuff, so at least you have a good idea of a real world application of how many cigars it holds and what the capacity could be with your cigar collection. All right, so I have got the humidor filled up now, and for reference, there are 26 cigars. These are just unbanded test blends that I've received recently. And so there are 26 cigars. There's a combination between Toros and Robustos, and then Toro Extras, which is like a 58 ring gauge, sometimes 60 ring gauge, but usually it's 58. So there are some different Vitolas in here, and like I said, there's 26 of them in here. There's probably room to put one more, but if you put one more on here, then it's going to cover up where the beads are. If you take this out completely, you actually get 3 to 4 more cigars in there. So you could comfortably say that this is a 25 to 30 count desktop humidor. It seals, it goes all the way down. As you can see right there, I'm pushing it down, and then right there. So it does hold the cigars, and the hygrometer is already climbing up. If you can see right there, we'll go right there, 54%. It was just at 53, now it's at 54%. So you can see that the hygrometer is working, and it is registering the humidity that's in there. And then for reference as well, I went ahead and put in just some cutters and lighters in the accessory tray here. A couple of different cutters, or a couple of different lighters, excuse me, a few different ones, a cutter, and then my Cigar Medics humidimeter. So all of that fits in here. Okay, my thoughts on this humidor, good, bad, and ugly. When you look at desktop humidors, one of the things you need to keep in mind is when seasoning it, you need to make sure you don't wipe it down with a wet sponge or anything like that. I've talked about this in every single one of my wooden desktop humidor videos. The instructions do say to go ahead and wipe it down. That can actually damage the wood inside the humidor. It can cause the fibers of the wood to expand too quickly and actually create more of a porous environment for the humidor and for your cigars, which could then potentially leak more humidity. So what you want to do is put in, like I did with Integra Boost, I put in a 72% pouch, and I'm going to leave that in there, and it'll come up to humidity, and it should be good to go. Or you can use the beads that it comes with, put it in the little tray that I showed you where it slides to adjust the level of humidity being released into the humidor. And you can put that in and season it that way. They recommend letting it sit for a few days at least to make sure that it regulates. And you want to be within about 4 to 5% of where your goal is for humidity. So if you keep your humidors, like I keep my humidors actually at about 64 to 65% relative humidity, and I keep the temperature right around 65 degrees Fahrenheit as well. That's just where I enjoy my cigars. It's where I have found that for what I enjoy, they smoke the best. I don't have to worry about plugging. I don't have to worry about them being over humidified, those different things. So when you get it to within a couple percentage points above where your target humidity level is, then go ahead and load it up with cigars. And you want to make sure that you fill the capacity to at least about 65 to 80% of its capacity. So this, we'll call it 30 cigars. If you don't have the beads in there, fill it up with about 25 or so cigars, 20 to 25 cigars, and you'll be good to go. If you do use the, if you don't use the beads, then put a few more in there and make sure that it's at a capacity, or it's filled up with enough space for there to be some air movement around there, so they're not packed in there like packed in like sardines. There you go. That was easy for me to say. So you want to make sure they're not packed in there like sardines, really tight. But you also want to maximize the space, of course, at the same time. So when loading them up, make sure you do that, and then just let it sit for a couple days. Once it gets to the ideal humidity percentage, a couple percentage points above it, load it up, and then let it sit for a couple days and let it acclimate. That'll let you know how things are going with it. And if you use the distilled water with the beads, you will want to make sure that you're paying attention after it's seasoned, because you'll probably need to add more water to those beads, because the wood's going to pull a decent amount of that humidity from those beads and pull it into the wood so that it is seasoned. The nice thing about this is it's Spanish cedar lined. It smells very nice inside. I do like that. I like the hygrometer being on the outside so you can see you don't have to put one inside, take away from the capacity that it holds with number of cigars. But you have to be careful with some desktop wooden humidors, especially when there's glass so you can see in it. That is where it is most susceptible to leaking humidity. Right where the glass meets up with the wood, there usually isn't a tight seal. And I had a comment on a previous humidor that I reviewed where they said, well, if I have to do any work to it when buying the humidor, why would I bother with it? And I get that. But if you're new in your cigar journey and you're just getting into it, to get a little bit of silicone caulking and put a thin bead of the clear one on the outside of the humidor, right where the glass meets the wooden frame, that's going to ensure the best possible way for sealing in the humidity inside that humidor, and it's going to help maintain your cigars a whole lot easier as opposed to having to check up and put in new Integra, packs more frequently or refill the distilled water with the beads. And so do yourself a favor and make sure that you get a tight seal on it. You don't overpack it so that the lid's partly opened. And then put just a little bead of caulking, like I said, right around where the glass meets the wood, and it's going to immensely help keep in the humidity and improve the environment for your cigars. Now, the things that I wish were a little bit different on this one. The measurement on it, it's in centimeters. I get it. We're, with the empirical scale here, and the rest of the world is on metric. So having centimeters, I totally understand that. It makes sense. It would actually be nice if it was in inches, especially for here in America, because then you can go, okay, yeah, this is 6, or it's 6 1/4, or 6 1/8, or it's a 7 inch and it's a Churchill, or whatever it is, and be able to measure it that way. One of the other things with these, like I mentioned with humidity leaking, it's inevitable. With a beginner entry-level desktop humidor, it's going to leak. And that's one of the things that I wish brands that are making humidors would do, is put some sort of a silicone gasket or something where the glass meets the wood. But again, when you're just starting out, to have a simple desktop humidor that holds 20 to 30 cigars, where you can put them in and you're going to be going through them frequently enough to make sure that the humidity is where you want it, then it really shouldn't be too much work or much of an issue at all. I do love, even though it's a wrap on it, I do love the wood grain finish that's on there. I do love the hygrometer being built in. I love how there's 2 separate areas where you can see through the glass. I also really like that it has the accessory tray on it. With that accessory tray, it gives you the opportunity to put in your cutter, your lighter, your humidimeter, whatever it is that you have. And if you're going to a buddy's house or you just have it sitting in your house, everything's in one spot. I really like the accessory tray on it. And so that's a huge perk for me. But that's the review on this. There's going to be a link down below to Amazon. I don't get any money for it. It's not an affiliate link. There's nothing like that at all. But if you want to check out this humidor and see it on Amazon, and the Zyfe family of cigar accessories sells probably just as much, if not more, than anybody else on Amazon. They're one of the fastest growing cigar accessories companies on Amazon. Then go and check it out. See if it's right for you. Very affordable, entry-level pricing for a good, solid unit. Closes, seals well, and hold your cigars. And it's a nice piece for somebody that's just getting started, or if they just want to have one in their office, for a smoke break on lunch or whatever it may be. This is a perfect option for that. I want to thank the people at Zyfe and TISFA for sending this out for my honest opinion, my honest review. So if you're interested in it, click on the link down below, go and check it out for yourself, and decide whether or not this cigar humidor is right for you. But that's going to do it for this unboxing of this wooden desktop humidor from TISFA. As I say every single time, enjoy your cigar journey, everybody. I'm Cigar Show Tim. As always, I'll see you